I would like to share some of my practical experiences with applying AI, especially from my career journey. So at T-Mobile and also some of the other companies, and recently I joined USF as a faculty member, as his brother mentioned. So some of the practical knowledge, not like hype and everything is out there. And also, as a faculty member, I would like to also bring some knowledge. So as you know, like once you, since I'm sure like some of you already have you didn't forget what you learned in the classroom, right? So I would like to bring that type of knowledge also a little bit so that we know the fundamentals, okay? And of course, I'll try to focus more on the applications of AI. So we already know, means like we're already familiar with the term called analytics. So I would like to kind of like differentiate analytics from AI because sometimes both of them are used in a kind of like, I would say, intertwined types of manner. So since we are already familiar with analytics and also, of course, we're also familiar with AI, but we need to make a distinction between them. AI is all about the fundamentals. Again, this is a kind of like classroom types of like concept. AI is the bottom, the foundation of AI is all about underlying is data and then algorithms. So algorithm is all about a set of instructions. And within that family, there is another subfield. It's called generative AI, which is recently all the revolution that happened in the field of AI is actually happened within deep learning. They apply the deep learning, but it's called special types of AI is called the generative AI. So we'll learn more about that generative AI in the subsequent slide. And there's another field is also kind of like intersected between the AI and it's not completely within the way the machine will learn. It's this NLP. It's called natural language processing. There's a linguistic part of it also. So the way the human language, how machine will learn the human language the way we understand as a human. Okay, so it's a kind of like intertwined between the algorithmic part and as well as some of the linguistic part. So that's why it's not fully within the machine learning. This is a small pie. So on the other hand, analytics is a little bit different. So analytics is different means analytics is also learning from the data, but learning for the data for human to make the decision. Okay, so I would say that one example probably would be helpful is, for example, most of us use GPS, right? Now, before we had the GPS device, but now we have GPS embedded within our smartphone. So the GPS we use to go from place A to B, right? And we give that destination address, and it gives us routing information. Okay, there are like 3 different options for you to go from A to B. And so we make the decision then, like, okay, depending on the traffic situation and the timing and everything, right? So we make the decision of like, okay, so I will take, out of these 3 options, I will take option B or option C. Okay, so this GPS system is a kind of analytic system. Okay, because it gives you a visual information, but it extracted the information from underlying data. Underlying traffic data, underlying the geographic data. Okay, so it processes this data and provides the synthesized information for human to make the decision, for us to make the decision. Okay, so that's analytics. On the other hand, AI is different, and AI will make the decision by itself, not for the human. Yes, you can apply it for the human, but it uses analytics. It uses that information and make the decision by itself. So the similar example is a self-driving car. We are familiar with the Tesla or other companies' self-driving car. And self-driving car is, it makes the decision by itself. And it uses GPS, the same information, right? And it makes the decision by itself, which where to turn, and it detects all the different objects, and based on the detection, then it makes the decision by itself. So self-driving car is an AI system. On the other hand, GPS is an analytic system, just to make the distinction between them to make sure we have a good understanding. Okay? And in business, we use analytics to make a lot of business decisions. We have like dashboard, we have different types of visual charts that we use, Excel-based or different types of business intelligence tools like Power BI or Tableau types of tool we use to make the day-to-day decision in terms of what decision should be made based on the findings from the analytics. Okay, so I hope I was able to make the distinction between AI and analytics. Any question? All right, this is kind of like theoretical part. All right, so some of the examples. So the way that AI learns, the machine learning part especially, I would like to touch a little bit about that theoretical part again. A couple of examples probably will make sense. So how people develop the AI systems to perform certain tasks. Okay, so the foundation or fundamentals of how people teach AI system or develop AI system is people come up with the examples. An example means people give, for examples, the same example, the self-driving car, how it was developed, the foundation. Okay, this AI system was developed is, the people came up with a lot of examples of images, okay? The road sign, the red light, the yellow light, right? So each of the images was taken, and each part of the images, like within the image, there are like certain different components, right? Each of the components was tagged, and it created the examples for the AI systems to learn. So this example means like I'm referring to the data. Okay, so using the algorithm, then the AI system learns using algorithm means like here, the family of algorithms is like the core family of algorithm is either deep learning or the core of deep learning, of course, the machine learning. So through the machine learning algorithm and from the example, then the machine learns that, oh, okay, so in this image, these are the objects within the image. Okay, and so that it's not just one image. So more examples that were given, and the machine is trained using the algorithm to learn from those millions or thousands of examples. Then, and any new image is given to the system. That learned system, the system then can make the decision, can detect or can identify what that image is, and accordingly, then it can make the decision. Okay, so and another analogy that I use is the way we learn from our childhood is like from our family members, right? Our parents, family members, they identified us. Okay, this is the glass, this is flour, right? So the AI system actually learn exactly the same, similar manner. Okay, we have to provide the AI system that okay, this is that, and then through those examples, then the AI systems can learn, and given any new information, new input, then the AI system can detect based on the learning. Again, the AI system will not be able to produce something or will not be able to do something that it was not learned for or it was not trained for. Okay? And the training comes from the examples that we provide. And there is a lot of examples here, like saying we already know that this is very common, it's very small types of like AI system that people actually have been using it. Since like I think beginning of like 1990, that internet era, right? The very simple AI system at that time was developed is like spam email detection. So again, the same concept, people created, there's a lot of examples given an email, what that email is. Is it a spam email or not a spam email? So each email is in one example. So once we have thousands of email with proper label of each of the emails as examples, and then if we use a simple algorithm to teach the machine to learn from those email, and then given any new email to the system will be able to identify whether that email is a spam email or not. Okay, so but the sophistication that we have been seeing recently is because of the revolution of the hardware. Because this is small, thousands of emails, it's like you can process in a simple computer. But we are talking about the AI system that can learn from millions of examples. And millions of examples we cannot process in a single machine. And of course, if the single machine is powerful, of course we can process. But we need sophisticated, powerful machine that can process millions of examples, types of like cases. So because of the improvement in the computing area, because of the hardware, and as well as the I would say availability, right? Improvement and also availability of the compute power people were able to develop this type of sophisticated AI system. But again, the underlying development process is the same. Is we have to have plenty of examples, and we need to have also the compute power computer, to train the AI systems to learn from examples in order to perform certain tasks. Okay, so hopefully, and there's another example here is like input and the output. So you have to create this type of examples, and then if we have enough examples and we use algorithmic techniques to train the machine to learn from these examples, then given like we would like to detect, okay, what's the customer behavior will be given an ad in an online platform, we will be able to get an idea ahead of time before making the decision. All right, so I will speed up a little bit more. So like recently, like Gen AI, especially the large language model, within the family of AI is the way it was trained, again, the same concept. The companies like OpenAI, so they kind of basically scrapped all different types of like websites from the internet, and they came up with the examples. Okay, so this is a simple example, but they have like millions of examples they created, and through this example, they trained the machine to learn from those examples. So that learn from example means here in this case, in the case of language model, it learned from the sequence of words. Okay, so from the sequence of words, so now given any input sequence like couple of words or like a sentence or even even like document. So now it can know by synthesizing those given input, it can detect. Detect means like it can identify the next sequence of words. Okay, so that's the kind of the basic. So there are mainly three different types of artificial intelligence. One is artificial narrow intelligence, generative AI, which is like generate the next sequence of words, or generate the image, or generate the audio. And another one is called artificial general intelligence, which is the next wave that is coming. And so narrow intelligence is like, we have been using it for a long time. It's not like this type of system doesn't have the full human intelligence capability. It's like partial, very kind of specific types of intelligence based on the examples that were trained on. It was trained on. And generative AI is all about generating the new content, right, as I said, and also our general intelligence will have the kind of like general types of knowledge that we, as a human that we have, okay? But this is coming, this is not there yet. So why it is for the business, the AI is for the business, that's kind of like, again, academic types of discussion. So we know that what is business is all about. So any business, either it sells the product, right? Or it renders the service, right? But in order to render the service or produce the product or sell the product, the first baseline is the cost, right? We have the cost. And then based on the market study, computer, all different types of study, then we determine the price, right? And every product or service business entity it has, or product or service, it has some perceived value. Perceived value is another terms we use is like customers' willingness to pay. How much the customers will be paying for a product or service, right? So basically, these are the kind of like, I would say, three things in terms of the dollar. And the horizontal axis we see here is the kind of like the number of customers, your market share, okay? The business market share. So, so in order to improve the kind of like the business goals, here, the ultimate business goal is what? So we know that it is profit. So the profit is coming from, so here, the profit margin, right? So price is the overall revenue, and if we subtract the cost to serve, then we'll have the profit or margin, depending on the market share, okay? So this is the kind of profit. So now, every business goal is to maximizing the profit. This shaded area, this middle shaded area. How can we maximize this profit? So usually in the class, I try to kind of like interact with the audience, but we don't have time. So what are the key ways that we can improve or we can increase the area of this rectangle, right? So one is cost, reduce the cost. Another one is increase the number of customers, getting more market share, and increase the price. So which one would be the kind of like the easiest way?
Cost.
Reduce the cost. So that's the kind of like most kind of like, I would say easiest way that any business owner or like business decision makers would be able to do. But getting the more customers is difficult because you need to beat your competitors. Increase the price will have the huge risk because you may lose you will increase this way, but there's a highly likelihood that you will shrink this way, right? Horizontally, you will shrink. And also the price increase also has a cap. You see the perceived value? So you have to demonstrate to your current customers as well as the potential customers to make sure that you're worth more so that you have more. If you have the more giggle room here, then we'll be able to increase the price probably. Okay? So cost to serve mainly. Okay? So this is where the AI plays the biggest role. Is like, and at any businesses, the number one cost item is?
Labor.
Huh?
Labor.
Cost of goods.
Cost of goods, cost of goods. So that means the number one item I would say is the human capital. Okay? Yep. So that's the most important. So that's why like most of the businesses, especially big fishes or big companies, they use AI to improve the human productivity. Okay? So this is where the AI will be applied more. And as I brought some examples here, is like especially we know that Amazon, they are using in the Amazon warehouses, especially they're using the AI-based robotic system. Not only just simple robot, but AI-based robotic system, so that robot also has some intelligence to label the product, bring in the product, and also create the whole package, but with the human supervision, of course. But it helps them to improve their productivity. The cost to serve reduced significantly. Okay, and also the banking system in financial sector, they have been using AI a lot to kind of like improve their overall processes. And in terms of the getting more and more customers, also there are applications in this side also. Applications like I think one of the common applications we know we're familiar with the Netflix. Most of us probably watch Netflix shows or movies. So they integrated AI there also to kind of like to improve, to get the more and more customers, providing the recommendation, especially this underlying recommendation system they have. It is also based on the examples. So examples they created is like, as a viewer or as a user, what are the shows and movies that I watch, and they match me with the similar types of audience, similar users, in another part or in another area, right? And they provide the recommendations accordingly. Also, we are familiar with in terms of the price also dynamically. One of the area is, or one of the companies they are using to kind of like adjust the price dynamically using AI is Uber. Okay, so if we go to, if we use Uber, this time like around like now it's 1 p.m. right, versus like 4 p.m. the price would be totally different. So they calculate in real time. It gets underlying data again. It gets the underlying data of like the traffic, the number of the riders versus number of drivers, all different types of underlying information, weather and everything, and then it calculates the price. Okay, so Apple is another example for the perceived value to improve the perceived value. So again, there are plenty of examples, but I would say it's like I think we are end of time, but I would say AI is no longer only for the big companies, because there have been a lot of research have been done recently, and AI have been using also for a lot of small companies have been using AI to improve their business processes. Some statistics are here, and what I would like to focus on is like AI helps business do 4 things better. Okay, first thing is understanding. Okay, understanding your like day-to-day types of like business activities, and creating content for your business, and also predicting, so that you can take the proactive action. So reactive era has already ended. Okay, so if as a business entity, if any business would like to do things in a kind of a reactive manner, okay, something happens, then I do the troubleshooting, and then I will take the measure. That era is gone. So you will not be able to compete with your competitors. It has to be the predictive manner. So you have to predict ahead of time what might be happening so that you can take the actions immediately. Okay? And also, of course, acting means like taking the actions with the human supervision again, with the help of AI.
Dr. Nasiruddin, Jazakallah khair. This is a very, very good fundamentals of AI. Maybe please stay right here. We're going to be opening up for some questions and answers. My name is Farouk Hamid. I'm part of the Chamber's board and committee working as a volunteer. Dr. Nasiruddin, from USF professor, has really done an outstanding job to kick off of her additional 3 more speakers, but this is the fundamentals of AI. He has enlightened us with the understanding of how the data is interpreted, data is going in, and then information is coming out. GPS was a great example. Now is an opportunity. We have a few minutes. No questions are dumb. I'm going to come around, and feel free to ask a question how these fundamentals might apply or something that you might be thinking of in your business to incorporate artificial intelligence. So we'll open up for a couple of questions before we invite second speaker of today.
What is the most basic incorporation, the most easiest thing anyone can incorporate?
I think the easiest thing that anyone can incorporate is improving your daily productivity, okay? But in a safe and sound manner. So you should, and also I have actually a lot of slides about like, okay, how can you use AI in a safe and sound manner. You should not give away your personal types of like, again, daily activities like email is one of our daily activities. Managing our daily calendar, right, is another activity. But we should not share our email or daily activities with the kind of like the frontier types of like AI models like ChatGPT, the Claude, right? So those types of models we should not share directly, because if we share it, it will go to the public, okay? So we should be very privacy concerned way, we should be using it. So nowadays, actually, in your simple laptop, so the AI era has been developed in such a significant manner is you can run a simple AI model within your laptop itself, okay? But the era is also coming that you will be able to run the AI model within your phone itself, okay? So what I would recommend is probably in the next opportunity if I have, I will try to kind of like have a workshop, a wonder types of workshop to kind of like help you use AI in a kind of like for your daily productivity in a safe and sound manner in your own laptops. You don't have to pay ChatGPT to use the AI model, or you should not use the ChatGPT types of AI model. Okay, very content, the local model without having any internet. You should be able to use AI to improve your daily productivity.
Any more questions?
So, you mentioned very pertinent concern that this confidentiality, right? If you are using, usually we use ChatGPT or Claude. Is it not like we are compromising our?
Exactly, we are. I mean, certain cases, yes, you can. If you would like to do, like, for example, if you like, you have an idea, you like to brainstorm your idea. Of course, you can do that without sharing details about your idea to the ChatGPT or Claude types of like tool. But other cases is like your customer information, your information, and those types of like information, I think you should not share with you these types of model. But there will be a kind of like, you can say, the model, local model that you can use to kind of like, if you would like to summarize an email, make it reply to an email, or you have a lot of like customer related information and you would like to kind of like get a synthesized information or summary of that information, right, of those documents. So you can do that locally.
What do you mean by local? We don't know about any local.
So that is a little bit of like,
Okay, maybe
During the lunch, maybe you can.
uh-huh.
During the lunch hour, maybe you can.
Yeah, during the lunch hour, probably I will
Yeah,
show them.
one-on-one will be what's going to happen is this is a very, very enlightening topic, and we're going to be hearing more and more. I think this is a great idea that during the lunch, there'll be networking time in there to have a one-on-one. We really appreciate Dr. Nasiruddin, you continue to stay with us for some additional dialogues for those that may have it. And there's a last question, 1 minute left. Then I'm going to be asking Brother Fazal to come back here and introduce our next speaker. But Brother Ayub, did you have a quick question? Or someone else? Brother
Yeah.
Omar, go ahead.
So, a lot of these AI models, get an API for your trading account, put it in the API, will do the automatic trading, the AI will do the
Everyone can
automatic,
hear it, right? Go ahead.
will trade for you, and you get an API from, is that still secure?
No.
Or once you put that API in there, it has all your name, everything.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's not secure. That's not secure. So again, one part of the thing is like you are giving away your trading strategy or like your information. Again, first thing is your information to the frontier model company like Cloud or ChatGPT. So this company is getting your information. And the other thing is like, I think there is a huge vulnerability that present in terms of like other people may get that information. Not that company, but the other people, bad actors, right, in the cyber space. So I would not do that. Okay, so no financial information should go to an AI model, especially AI model managed by someone else. Again, if you have the business account or anything like that, where you have an SLA with those companies that your information will not be shared, it will stay within your the perimeter set environment. In that case, yes, but again, there should be a lot of like measures should be taken. What is going to the AI model? What is coming out of the AI model?
Dr. Nasir, thank you so much for your great enlightening information on the fundamentals. Brother Fazal, please introduce the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nasruddin.